Welcome to The Law, Your Money, and You. I'm Roberta, Saphire, an attorney in Sharon, Massachusetts.
And I'm Camille, Barron, a financial coordinator and healthcare advisor, also in Sharon, Massachusetts.
New England.
In New England and
Yes.
the United States.
Yes,
And the world.
absolutely.
The solar system?
The solar system, right.
So is this one. That was Judy Waxman, who's, as far as we're concerned, head of the Sharon Cultural Council,
Yes, absolutely.
and our guest for today.
She is our guest for today. And I just want to say that we really appreciate being connected with the Cultural Council. In fact, that was really a real nice acknowledgement that we had from the
Yes,
Cultural Council.
and they're credited in the back
Yes,
of
the
the book here.
police officers are our friends, and
This is the second edition.
second edition for Sharon, Massachusetts, and we're just so pleased that the Cultural Council exists and that Judy is here with us today.
Well, I'm very pleased to have been asked, and I'm thrilled to be able to answer your questions and talk about the Cultural Council.
Well, first talk a little bit about yourself.
We don't have enough
viewers.
time because I've been around a long time. But I've been a resident of Sharon for 35 years now. Professionally, I worked in corporate event marketing, and I, quite by accident, found out about the Cultural Council, and I'm like, how did I live in town this long and that didn't know that it existed? And I began to learn about what it did, and I sent in my application to get on the board, to get on the council, and I've just been immersed in it because I have a deep desire myself for the arts and for the humanities, and I love Sharon, and I thought whatever I can do to, help the residents of Sharon get more of these things that the council is able to provide.
Well, now give us a background on the
the
Cultural
council?
Council, because it's not just in Sharon, it's all over.
That's correct. So I can't really speak to what's going on in the rest of the country, but in Massachusetts we have something called the Massachusetts Cultural Council, and that's referred to as the MCC, and we are an LCC, which is a local cultural council. There are 359 cities and towns in the state of Massachusetts, and they all, or most of them, have their own local cultural councils. It's really kind of cool because we're actually kind of like a government organization. We have to get sworn in, we have to take an ethics kind of quiz and be certified that we know about open meeting law.
Is that for the state?
It's required for the state and for the town.
Oh.
So, yeah, everything is, all of our agendas are posted. I do it both online on our Facebook page and in the town hall. Everyone is welcome, but you have to be a member of the council to vote. And the challenges are that in the past couple of years that I've been involved, we've had about 33 grant requests, 33 grant applications, and that amount to about $15,000. But what we get allocated from the state is a little bit less than $5,000.
That's all you get from
That
the
is
state?
all we get. They have a formula on how the funds that the state gets is allocated, and because we're small, Sharon is a small town, this is all that we get. So we have our big meeting in November where we get all of our applications and we take all of our funds that we have and we try to spread it out as much as we can. And it's a very long meeting, very intense. We, as you know, I believe your application for a grant was more than we were able to give you, but we felt what you do with this program was important, so we give what we can. And we talk about that.
We appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate what you do. I mean, and we do discuss how many citizens does this particular program that the grantee is looking for? What age groups? How well attended is it? How many other local cultural councils are being asked, for funding? We take all of those things and probably a lot more into consideration before we approve a grant.
I had no idea.
What is the mission of the Cultural Council?
Good question.
So basically, we are a grant approving, a grant providing organization. That is the main basis, is to supply grants for people who have programs that they want to put on for the town.
And grant is money. It's
Cultural-
money.
A grant is money,
And
yes.
so the programs are of a nature that align with the Cultural Council's
Yes.
scope, correct?
So it's basically the arts and the humanities. So I mean, we have someone who goes to the schools and speaks about the Holocaust. We have people that have the choruses and orchestras and art programs and dance and just all different.
Fascinating.
It's well, I'll tell you, it's not only fascinating. I went recently, in the spring, I went to one of the programs by the Sharon Community
Band?
Orchestra.
Oh,
It was the
orchestra.
orchestra. I'm sure I'm not getting all it. It's a long name, but it's conducted by Michael Korn, who I am probably one of his biggest fans. I went to this concert and I was absolutely blown away. I'm like, why isn't this more well known? The quality and the talent that we have locally that I don't know. It's like when you belong to like a theater group or something, an amateur theater group. Who comes? The family and the neighbors or the people that are in it. I'm telling you, there are programs that are going on locally that are so worthwhile.
Where did they hold it? Like in a school?
They're like, I saw one in a church in Easton is the one, but I know that they're all over, and it's well worth the viewer's while to look at these things and try to find what's going on in the area.
Not just here. So every town, pretty well every town has a cultural council and are doing the same things.
Right. Some of the things that we're contributing funds to, they need more funds than what we're able to provide.
Right.
So they may also put in an application for a grant to the surrounding towns here. Mansfield and Foxborough and Easton has a very large cultural council. Norwood, Canton, Stoughton, everyone. And
We got some grants from the towns that we did, cultural councils that we did the books for in the town with the police. It's so important to let people know police officers are our friends. But we've seen it. Now, what you do, does it have to be, do you have to file papers with the state? Do you get overlooked by, oversought, or whatever the word is? In other words, are you watched over by the state?
yeah, definitely. We have rules and regulations that we have to adhere to. We have documentation that has to be filled out and completed, starting right away with the application process. That's all run by the state. And then we have to adhere to how the grants are allocated, for example. So one of the really cool things in 2018, Sharon Local Cultural Council was one of only 19 cities and towns in the whole state that was invited to participate in this pilot reimbursement program. Prior to 2018, anyone that was applying for a grant and approved for a grant had to do their program, and then, and you probably are aware
Yeah,
of
we're
this,
doing that now. And some of them don't send out the money. They have you running hoops, and then maybe at the last minute, you'll get the money.
well, prior to 2018,
yours
you
was
got
different.
you got the money after your program. You sent in all your invoices, proof
Right.
that you had the program, proof that you gave credit to the local cultural council. All of that has to be done. But this year, they're running a pilot program where the grantee gets their funds
First,
prior,
yeah.
which in so many cases like yourself, you really kind of need that money to be able to make the program happen.
Do you ever have any? Has anybody ever not fulfilled the program after they got the money? I mean, we did. You're right in here, Sharon. You know what's interesting too is that you have to put. I don't
Thank
think
you.
they can see it, but you have to put the logo.
That's right.
But have you ever had anybody
Well, so
not
this is
do it?
this is our first year doing
Oh.
the pilot program, and so far, of all of the grantees, we've only still waiting for one.
Really?
Yeah, but everyone's programs come in at different times. So all of our money has been allocated except for one because we've never gotten their paperwork. So that's a pretty good average, I'd say.
So if they don't send in the paperwork, they're going to lose the grant, or will they?
So because it's a pilot program and they were approved for the grant, they're still back in the state trying to figure out what they're going to do with people that aren't complying with this pilot program.
Can you tell us some examples of the humanities grants that you've been able to award this past year or two?
Well, okay, let's see. Well,
We thought we were going to catch you on that. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
I don't think that's possible. No.
well, no, it's possible. It's possible. You know, we have mostly music and theater and dance and art related, but we have your wonderful program with police officers are our friends. We also have kind of interesting programs on organic gardening that doesn't really fall into it. I never really thought of gardening as an art. I suppose some people could, but to me that's more humanities. We've got the Holocaust. We've got the program on educating the children about the Holocaust, and that's basically, I would say, our contribution to the humanities.
How do you take your 5,000? That's really not much money. How do you take your 5,000 and divvy it up?
Well, we have this massive spreadsheet,
Oh,
and we go through line by line each application, and we see what they're asking for, what the program is. Some people say, well, if we get the money, then we'll do this. Well, no, we want to know that you've got a formulated, successful program that, you know, has some history to it, that has some success to it. We're not just going to fund anything because we have to be very careful of what we're funding. We want to make sure that our residents in Sharon support this type of event. For example, the Brockton Symphony Orchestra. Well, the people in the Brockton Symphony Orchestra put out grants for all the surrounding towns. Well, how many residents really attend from Sharon? Well, we do our inquiries. We find out there's quite a number of Sharon residents that go and see their performances, so that we see how much money are they asking for. And sometimes, you know, it's definitely a process. Sometimes we'll say, okay, we'll give them the full amount, for example. And then we see, oh, we've got these. This is a really great program. So where can we kind of take from and we kind of balance things out? And sometimes we have to take away a little bit of money here to make sure that we can give something at least to another program that we feel is worthwhile. It's very complicated.
And it sounds like a lot of it is based on the impact that program will have on the community, what you think it will do, how it will enhance the community in some way.
Absolutely.
You might get more applications now. I'm wondering how many people know about cultural councils, whatever town you're
Well,
in.
I've asked that very same question myself, Roberta.
So it's a good question.
It is a great question. So mostly people that do these kinds of programs, they're keyed in to all the different ways that they can apply for grant money. So that's one way. But one of the things that I'm doing as chair of the Cultural Council is I'm trying to get our name out there. I've trying to up our visibility on our Facebook page. If you haven't gone on our Sharon Cultural Council Facebook page, please do visit our page and like and share us so that it can help spread the word about things that are going on. I've tried to do more with it. I also do postings on the Sharon closed group sites.
Oh yeah, those are good.
And sometimes I'm probably taking up a lot of people's Facebook real estate because I'll be posting on all 3 sites at the same time, and I'm sure that probably annoys some people, and I do apologize about that. But
No, that's
I
good.
just want to make sure people know that we're there and that what we're doing, and to please support the programs that we're supporting.
It must be really challenging now, in the sense that a lot of organizations, whether it be government or not, if they have to cut budgets, a lot of times, unfortunately, the arts and humanities are the first thing to be cut.
I cannot believe that you have just mentioned that, because in my inbox today was a press release from the Massachusetts Cultural Council. Back some months ago, there was talk about cutting the Cultural Councils for the state by $2 million. And it might have been Charlie Baker, I don't remember right now, but someone said, no, that's not okay. And it got approved that I think we might have gotten a $2 million increase.
Really?
So I hate to
nice.
sound
Wow.
uninformed, but
Yeah.
we are very, very happy.
So how much more is that if you get 5,000?
I don't know
now?
what it's going to be
What would it
allocated.
be?
I don't know.
I-
I'm waiting.
I have a question. I
Sure.
know, like the police, like the police read to toddlers or tots in the library, not just here, but all over the state. So they have these meetings, and the police have the meetings. The administrative secretaries, mayors of towns, they have meetings too, and you'll see that what's going on in one town is always going on in another. Do the cultural councils, the local cultural councils, meet and decide and say, oh, we do this, we do that? Do you have meetings
Yes.
like that?
So
That's a good question.
it is a good
Right.
it is a good question, and I wish I had a better answer. But to answer the question honestly, yes, they do. The
How
challenge.
often? Yeah.
It's a somewhat regular basis, but
that's
maybe quarterly. The problem is, we're volunteers, and a lot of these meetings occur maybe late afternoon, early evening. They very often occur in the Boston, Cambridge
Oh, yeah.
area. So I myself am very disappointed that every time that they've had a meeting, I have not been able to attend. I have other commitments, like taking care of my grandchildren, that I don't, that's a priority for me. And all the members of our cultural council, they work or they have families. So yes, there are regular meetings that go on. There are sometimes like a special topic that they want to be talking about. There was even kind of like a mini conference that occurred on a Saturday, and I have not had good luck in being able to make any of those meetings. But I do keep in touch. We have a kind of like an account manager back in the state office, and try to keep up with what's
They don't
going
do like
on.
Facebook, like when we have our advisory board meetings, they can call in, log in, and view.
Okay, so as a government agency, we have something called an open meeting law, and all of our meetings are they have to be posted that they're happening, and they have to be done in person. I have asked that question several times, and that's just the way it is. We're not able to do a Skype meeting. I would love for that to, if I had an ask for one thing to change, that could very well be the one thing I would ask for.
You've been very fascinating. Do you know our time is almost up? So
Oh,
you've got
no.
to be kidding.
You've got to be kidding.
You've got to be kidding.
We're in You've Got to Be Kidding. You're in, and here's a You've Got to Be Kidding bag, which has not been used because I don't want it to get ruined. The minute you open it, it seems to fall apart.
YGTBK, you've
Yeah.
got to be kidding.
Yeah, but because we have such little time, you've got to be kidding.
You've got to be kidding.
Well, you good. So informative, because people go, what's the Cultural Council? What do they do, and this and that? And you've answered all these questions, and a lot of them you didn't know we were going to ask, because you said, what are you going to? I says, no, just you'll be able to do it because you really know your stuff. You
And
really
your passion
know
for it.
Well,
Yes.
I am very passionate about it, and to complete the question that you originally asked me about what the council does, one part is the grant, but then there's opportunities to do fundraising, to
was
do
gonna ask about
public art, to do
fundraising.
public art projects and things like that. And I'm hoping to be able to work with Senator Paul Feeney. We've had a kind of an impromptu conversation at our grantee reception back in the spring. I'm hoping
yeah,
to
he
be
was
able to
there.
bring some public art displays, both permanent and maybe a traveling one through the district.
Excellent.
Raise money.
To town.
Raise
That's kind of an objective I have. I would love to be able to see happen.
I just want to point out, too, that the Mass Cultural Council, from what we read, is part of the National Endowment for the Arts. So the national federal government, I don't know if that's the federal government, but I noticed that, again, Massachusetts is another forerunner in cultural councils, and that so many towns have them. It's really wonderful.
It is wonderful. If people are interested, you can go on the Mass Cultural Council website, and a lot of the towns have posted different festivals that they do, different like sculpture gardens, all different kinds of things that's done around the state, which of course anyone is perfectly welcome to attend.
And if our viewers want to get a hold of you, ask you questions, do you want to tell
please
them
do.
how?
My email is sccjudywaxman at gmail.com. I'm sorry, sccjudywaxman at gmail.com.
And of course, they can go on the website. the
You
cultural-
can
Yeah, the
contact me
website.
through our Facebook page.
Sure.
There's information on Town of Sharon website also on how to contact me. You can send a letter to the Sharon Cultural Council at the Town Hall, 90 South Main Street.
How many people are on the board?
Oh, good question.
Right now we have, we just lost, we have a certain amount of, it's a 3-year term, and we're allowed to have 2 consecutive 3-year terms, and then you have to take a break for a year. So right now we are down to 9, and we have some more that are going to be completing their
Yeah.
Do
terms
they
of
get
office.
voted on, or they get appointed?
So it's a very actually simple process that sounds complicated. There is an application that you can get on the Sharon Town website. It goes to the selectman's office. You meet with a selectman either at a selectman's meeting, or you can make a separate appointment and just speak briefly. They just want to know who you are. And then you can get approved and you're on. And
Terrific.
we welcome people that would like to join us. People, we want to have enough diversity in our council as well. And we want to make sure that we also always have enough people that are contributing at the meetings.
That's fantastic.
Well, we're almost winding up, but
Sure.
we brought you some books, and if anybody has children or anything, nieces, nephews, and they want a book, they can stop by the police station.
Wonderful.
And they can also stop by, we have some other sponsors, the Eastern Bank has some, Dedham Bank has some, and if they want to enter a coloring contest, one of our team members, Michaela Chung, drew this picture,
Wonderful.
and we have them, and we'll be giving a prize.
You bet.
Wonderful. I
For
think
the
this
best
is
picture.
great.
Look at it.
And
Isn't that great?
we'll be seeing you at Square Jam this Thursday, August 2nd, 6
Yeah,
o'clock
we-
to 8:30. So
Yeah, we usually, but that's okay, we usually don't put dates.
Because it could play
Yes,
after, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Okay.
But that's okay.
Well-
That's okay. We'll be at the Square
Oops.
Jam. That's okay. We'll be at the Square Jam. Actually, every year there's Square Jam. There are other events too, and we happily take part in them. We have, might as well say, we have the best. I don't think this show will air by then, so this might air in time for the next one. But
Okay.
But
sorry.
we always have the best spot. They've blessed us with the best spot.
Wonderful.
That the library is, I told them they could have a little piece of our table because they don't have a good spot. And you can say you've got to be kidding on that one.
Oh, and it is just about time for us to wrap up,
Right.
believe it or not.
Well,
thank you
We've
so
gotta be
much for
kidding.
having me.
You were wonderful. I knew you would be wonderful, but this is really wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And I have to
you.
say, they definitely have the right person as
Yes.
chairperson of the Cultural Council. They
So when your
definitely have it.
time's up, they shouldn't. Maybe you could go in as another person.
You've got to be kidding.
I'll have an alias.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's been wonderful, Judy.
Thank you so much for
so
inviting me.
And to
Bravo.
our viewers, we want to
Yeah.
say thank you for watching. And I know that I learned even more about the cultural
Yes.
councils, plural, and especially the local one. And I invite you to please let us know if you have questions or if you're interested in learning more about the Cultural Council, because I know that Judy would be happy to talk with you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Please let us hear from you about that or any other topics you might be interested in hearing about in the future, because remember, this is your show, the law, your money, and you.